We are back. We're hoping this time that things work smoothly and we don't run into those issues. We're still in the race. We still got it going. Everything is going good with it, and everyone is running smoothly out there. And it looks like Streamlabs is not skipping frames or messing up. We try to go live 3 other times there. Luckily enough, we finally get it rolling. We finally get it going back again. It doesn't look like we're skipping a whole bunch of frames there, so we should be in the clear. We should be good to go and keep on battling here this evening as all these drivers continue to keep on battling there. Stage 1 has concluded, but we continue to keep on racing. No caution flags as of yet. It has been clean and green racing here this evening for the Premium Stock Car Racing League, and for all these drivers, they look to continue to keep on putting on a heck of a show for us here this evening. So welcome back in, welcome back to the action as we get these Premium Stunt Car Racing League drivers out there onto the racetrack, ready to go to battle, ready to duke it out here for hopefully the rest of the night with no more Streamlabs internet connection issues there. I don't know what was going on with that, as the internet was fine. The internet never crashed. If the internet was crashing, then usually the cars on the racetrack, I'd get kicked out of iRacing. Never had it kick me out of iRacing. We were able to stop the stream, get everything reloaded back in, and go back live here a couple times. It still wasn't working on Streamlabs before we finally decided that we were going to shut the PC down, restart it back up, and get back into it. So we got that streaming PC back up and going. Should be A-okay. We should hopefully not have any more issues as we, get the battle in here. Once again, we get ready to keep on duking it out and keep on seeing these drivers race here this evening. So welcome back in. Welcome back to the action here today as these drivers continue to keep on racing, continue to keep on battling out there on the racetrack as this stage is, it's quickly coming to a close here, this second stage, so we're getting closer and closer to seeing this race kind of, quickly wrap up here. These drivers have been on a torrid pace, a lot of great laps, and still out in front and leading the way. It is this 31 rider, Dylan Carrier. Carrier still out in front, still has about a 2-second lead between himself and Jordan Hand here this evening. Josh Crider back there in third, Brian Underwood rolls there in fourth. Noah Blackwell now up into fifth as Evan Stewart, Landon Burbage, Ben Gleason, Melvin Brangwer, Jordan Crider, our top 10 out there on the racetrack. So that is our top 10 here this evening for all these drivers. This is the exact place that they want to be. They want to be in this spot. They want to be able to keep on battling, have these good green flag laps, but all these green flag laps are going to be kind of thrown out the window here in a second as, I don't know why that went back to the Mazda. That is the Premium Stock Car Racing League. Let's get that up and onto there. As we're going to see these guys have the caution flag fly here in just a little bit. We're going to see the yellow flag come out at the end of stage number 2 at the completion of lap number 80, which is about 4 laps, about 12 laps away here for Dylan Carrier, as lap 68 just got clicked off the board. So lap 68 completed here this evening. Still a lot of racing action left to go. Still a lot of laps out there on the racetrack as, no skip frames this time. We love to see that. No skip frames, no nothing, and we're just over 100 laps of racing action left to go here this evening for these drivers, as 167 laps on the docket here today, as each and every one of them, they keep on battling, they keep on trying to race their way up to the front here as everyone's been chasing down this 31 right. Dylan Carrier came here with a game plan, and he has been able to execute perfectly so far. Hasn't really ran into any mistakes, has been running just a absolutely picture perfect race here this evening, and he has looked very, very good every single step of the way as we continue to see them duking it out, battling, sliding out there on the racetrack. Everyone trying to keep on racing their way up to the front here and trying to keep themselves out of trouble here today as Carrier, Jordan Hand, Josh Crider all right there. We do see, unfortunately, now Ben Gleason, or Chris Getz here. Getz down a lap here. He's the first driver 1 lap down, back in that 12th position. James Efa about to potentially go a lap down here as well, as he's not too far away from our race leader, as gets a lap down. Nathan Brookover, Ryan Haller also a lap down. 57 ride of Grant Applegate as the stream was crashing there as Streamlabs was running into problems for the 57 rider Grant Applegate. Applegate actually had to come down pit road, made his first green flag pit stop. Unfortunately, had to make another trip down pit side, and for the 57 ride, have those 2 pit stops, now finds himself a lap down. Same with Aiden Lucas in the 20 ride. Ryan Haller up into the outside fence. He's a lap down. Jason Kinney now a couple laps down there. Still has that damage on that triple deuce right out there. The 222 machine rolls back in 17th. The 18th place driver, that is Jonathan Gaston. Farrell Robbins back in 19th after he was able to get that wheel reconnected and back into the action here. It's almost like he crashed so hard it crashed my Streamlabs as well here this evening, but he continues to keep on fighting here today. Is Dylan Carrier out in front. Carrier, man, he's a man on a mission here this evening. He is not giving up. He is not giving an inch out there on the racetrack and continues to keep on battling here this evening. Man, we were having such a good run there. We had so many people in the stream watching. I'm not sure if that's just because they haven't gotten the notification or not about the secondary stream here. So if they haven't gotten the secondary stream, they got to turn those live noties on here. Let me quickly close that out, and let's see if we can go back to our channel here and go to the other live stream. If they're still there, hoping to see it reconnect or anything else, maybe we can add into the comments the new portion of this stream, because we'll make sure that everyone gets back in here. Everyone gets to continue to watch their drivers battle, duke it out, and race here this evening. We never like to see the streams go down and have those issues. Sometimes, though, it is out of our hands, out of our control, and we can't control and make Streamlabs run perfectly every time we load up a broadcast, as we're here every single day, no matter what, and we tend to see a lot of issues, not a lot of issues, but some issues here or there when it comes to either internet or it comes to Streamlabs or SDK. Something tends to not want to work with us every once in a while. It seems to be, once a month or once every, other month, something like that happens, and luckily enough, we were able to quickly get it fixed and get it rolling again, and it seems to be perfectly fine. We haven't had any skip frames or any issues or any stream problems here since then, so everything keeps on running smoothly, everything keeps on running good here today, and that is exactly what we want to see. Is out in front. This number 31 machine continues to lead the way here. That is Dylan Carrier. Carrier out in front, getting ready to complete stage number 2. Looking for the sweep here on the stages. Has about a 0.7 of a second lead between himself and Jordan Hand. Hand has been closing up to him, has been running him down here over the last handful of laps. Now, honestly, Dylan Carrier dealing with a little bit of lap traffic right there, trying to get through those guys, but it doesn't seem like that. Number 11 right at Jordan Hand coming on strong here later in this run, and I'm sure he'd love to jump up and try to steal that stage win and take some extra points away from Dylan Carrier, but Carrier no longer a part of our playoffs here this year. For that 31 ride, unfortunately got eliminated in our last race last Saturday night, but here he is ready to rock and roll, as Brian says, 5 car must be a big fan of the number 2 car. Way to show your true colors in racing. Hey, it is what it is. It is what it is, as Carrier leads us down across the line here. Only 3 laps left to go here in stage number 2 here this evening. Jordan Hand, though, trying to take that stage win away from Dylan Carrier. Josh Crider back there in position number 3. Brian Underwood there in 4th, with Evan Stewart now up inside the top 5. Great run here brewing for Evan Stewart, as he's got that 37 up and into the 5th position. Landon Burbage there in 6th, with Ben Gleason, Noah Blackwell, Melvin Brengroer, and Jordan Crider are top 10. James Efaw back there in 11th. He is still the first car 1 lap down, and potentially in that lucky dog situation where, when we get this stage break, could get that free pass and get himself back onto the lead lap here this evening. For some of those other drivers, they may not be so lucky here today, so we'll have to keep an eye on all those other drivers that are a lap down, including some of our drivers that are still in the playoffs. Some of our playoff drivers back there are a lap down. We look back at Eden Lucas. He's a lap down. Grant Applegate, he's a lap down. Definitely not the spot you want to be here in this first race of round number 3 of our playoffs, knowing that there's only, one more race until that final elimination race, and having a bad run here today could potentially bring you below that cut line and potentially could make it so that you don't advance into the next round of our playoffs next week, and that's not what you want, because you want to be right there. You want to be a part of that Final Four to have a shot at the championship. As here we go back down to the line here. This will be the end of lap number 80 as stage number 2 comes to an end. It is the 31 of Dylan Carrier. Carrier picks up the win here in stage number 2. Heck of a run, heck of a drive there for Dylan Carrier. Carrier picks up that second stage win of the day for the 31 ride. Jordan Hand there in second. Then we see Brian Underwood, Josh Crider there in fourth. Then we see Evan Stewart, Landon Burbage, Ben Gleason, Noah Blackwell, Melvin Brangroer, and Jordan Crider rounding out our top 10 here as stage number 2 officially comes to a close here. We do see that caution flag fly as the stage break finally upon us here, and I do believe this is our first official caution flag of the day. So we'll get things ready to rock and roll. We'll get ready to go back to green flag racing in just a few more moments. The action will come right back at you here in just a couple more seconds as drivers continue to keep on battling and looking to try to race their way up to the front. We welcome you all back in, and if you guys are just tuning back into the stream, make sure you guys share it out to your friends, your family, share it out to everybody, get them back in here as we want to continue to build the stream up more and more and more. Again, we were having some great start to the stream there. Everything was running smoothly. Everything was running so good until Streamlabs decided, you know what? It's running too good. Let's throttle him back, and decided that they would just all of a sudden start skipping every frame. So we had to shut down stream, shut down that stream PC, and bring things back. As here we go, we do see these drivers head down pit sign, being led still by Dylan Carrier. As Carrier continuing to lead the way here in this race. Jordan Hand right there behind him, though. They got a bit of a gap back to our third place driver. That is the 6th rider, Brian Underwood. Josh Crider there in position number 4 with Evan Stewart rounding out our top 5. Landon Burbage, Ben Gleason, the number 3 of Jordan Crider back there in position number 8 and 9. There we go. We see Brangroer, Noah Blackwell, Ben Gleason still rounding out our top 10. Out there on the racetrack, James Efaw will get that free pass. The lucky dog, he'll get back onto the lead lap here this evening. Nathan Brookover looking to potentially either stay out here and looking to try to get that wave around back onto the lead lap here himself, as we did see Chris Gatz, Applegate, Aiden Lucas, Ryan Holliver, all of our lap down drivers come down pit road here as well. Tough break for them on the day. Definitely not how they wanted things to go, as Dylan Carrier does come out still with that race lead, has the snap-on tools. Carrier Motorsports number 31 right out in front, and let's see if we can jump in and potentially pull him in here for a little in-race interview here. Let's see if we can find him and pull him up into the booth real quick. Where is Mr. Crider? Carrier. There's Carrier. All right, let's pull Mr. Carrier up here into the booth. Hey, Dylan, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yes, sir. You caught me getting a drink.
Haha, no drinks for you, brother. You got to get ready to keep on rocking and rolling. But take us back through those first 2 stages, this 31 ride. Obviously, the car to beat, man, looking very, very fast, very good here at Kansas Speedway, man. Take us back through it and how you're feeling going in to this final stint.
Yeah, car feels great. I feel really fast. Really wasn't expecting that, but I found something out in practice right there at the end, and for qualifying and for long run speed, and it's been working. Thought I was going to run out of gas coming to the end of stage 2, though. I was sputtering entering my box, so it's going to be a fuel mileage race to the end because of the way the fuel load sits, so it's going to be interesting.
It's definitely going to be very, very interesting. Going to be fun to watch you guys try to duke it out and race back to the line and try to see if you can pick up a big checkered flag here. Obviously no longer a part of the playoffs, man, but you are making them know that if you'd be the car to beat here today and potentially be that first driver locked into our championship finale.
Yeah, feeling good. Getting ready to go green here, and hopefully I can pull that checkered flag.
Absolutely. Good luck, brother, and we'll hopefully see you back up here in the booth in just a little bit.
Thanks, sir.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for Mr. Dylan Carrier. Carrier getting ready to go back to green flag racing. You get a good look at him there in the webcam up above us as he gets ready to go through the gears, ready to throttle up and ready to try to run away with this race once again. As quickly back onto the loud pedal, stage number 3, our final stage of the day is underway, and Dylan Carrier looking to try to pick up the checkered flag here in this one. As there we go, we do see that number 31 machine with a great restart, able to quickly open up that lead and start to try to pull away from Brian Underwood. As Underwood able to jump up into second here, hand back into third as here comes Landon Burbage. Burbage right there in position number 4 and looking for more. Evan Stewart having himself a heck of a run here this evening as he's got that beautiful purple number 37 up inside the top 5. Josh Crider in the number 5 ride rolls there in position number 6 with Ben Gleason, Jordan Crider, Melvin Brangerer, and Noah Blackwell rounding out our top 10 here this evening. James Efaw back there in 11th. He is the last car on the lead lap here this evening. Last car on the lead lap after getting that lucky dog and getting back onto the lead lap here this evening for Aiden Lucas. He's hoping to see another quick caution flag here as Aiden currently sits in that lucky dog position. Here's the first car one lap down, and if he can see another caution flag that he's not a part of, could potentially get him back into the lead lap here today, as well as see a big run right there for the 18 ride as man sent it right in there. Noah Blackwell did. Unfortunately, washed up the track, got a piece of the outside fence, stays back there in position number 10 as you see Applegate, Ryan Haller, Nathan Brookover, all these drivers hoping to see a couple caution flags, hoping to try to get themselves back on the lead lap for Jason Kinney. Kinney, this is his first race here on the season, his first race with the league. Started off very, very good, got up into the outside fence, obviously did not want to see that long green flag run as that car had heavy damage on it. Unfortunately was way off the pace and fell multiple laps down there for this 222 machine, and definitely not the way he wanted things to go here this evening as he's back now into the 17th position. He's about 5 laps down out there on the racetrack now to our race leaders. Jonathan Gaston also in that same situation here. He's about 5-6 laps down, back in position number 18, and Farrell Robbins, who we saw have that issue down through the infield where the wheels on that car just hooked to the left. It's like that car just all of a sudden lost the power steering or something, and the wheel, the iRacing wheel, just disconnected and unfortunately sent him right down into the pit wall. Heavy front end damage. Luckily enough, no caution flag for the rest of these drivers, but for the 76 had to spend extended period of time down pit road as out in front Dylan Carrier continuing to lead the way. Carrier out in front, 0.3 of a second between himself and Brian Underwood. Is what's good, Martin? What's good, Mr. Martin coming in showing the love, says hello. Says good afternoon, man. Good afternoon, brother. How are you? Well, it's a little bit more of a good night here, brother, as it's 10:30 at night here for us up in the broadcast booth, brother. It's nighttime now. It's dark outside. The lights are on. The street lights are on, and it is definitely nighttime for us. But so far, great race, great show. For anyone that missed out on the experience of the stream crashing there around lap number, 35, 36, somewhere in there. We did have the stream unfortunately crash. We had to try to restart it a couple times. Still wouldn't work, so we had to restart the streaming PC. Luckily enough, as we got it going back up and everything else, it seemed whatever bug it had or whatever was going on with it, it has fixed itself, and it is good to go here. We didn't miss any of the action up here in the booth, but for you guys, you did miss a good couple handfuls of laps right there, and we do apologize about that, but we're glad we got it back going and back into this one. As Anna says, hi, Peacemaker, you're the best. I appreciate that, Anna. I appreciate you coming in, showing the love here in this one, and we see that 31 ride continue to lead the way, but a lot of drivers trying to just hang on to their rides here at Kansas. A lot of drivers have struggled. A lot of drivers have had issues either getting up into the outside fence or going down through the grass and doing some landscaping here on the front straightaway. So you got to be very, very careful. You got to be very good to try to keep yourself out of trouble out there on the racetrack. And as this race continues to go on, we'll continue to see tire wear become an issue. Fuel mileage could definitely become an issue for a lot of these drivers. We heard it from our Stage 1 and Stage 2 winner here, that Snap-on Tools number 31 ride of Dylan Carrier, where fuel could definitely become the big question mark on the day. Can somebody save a little bit extra? Can they feel a little bit more confident later in this race to potentially put put themselves up and into victory lane. Is Aaron Bowman, the showman, coming in showing the love here on the broadcast, coming in showing the love over there on Facebook, says let's go Bowman. How are you, mister? How you doing this evening? Mr. Bowman coming in not only with the let's go up in the chat, but also coming in with that heart reaction. We appreciate you, brother, showing the love as we do see the caution flag come back out. So yellow flag back out onto the racetrack here. So our second caution flag of the day, not too far off of our first yellow flag at the end of stage number 2 there on lap number 20 as we take a look. It's the 18 ride, the NJBDesigns.com Interstate Batteries, number 18 in Noah Blackwell. Blackwell, we saw him go for a big run down through 1 and 2. This car's looked like a bit of an animal in that. Oh, man, Grant Applegate ends up getting a piece of it right there. Heavy damage for the 18. Motor is expired on that ride. He's going to have to take it down pit side for an extended period of time. But let's take another look back at what was going on here. Obviously struggling with the handling of this ride and sends it into corner number 3 here and then just pushes down the racetrack onto the apron, and the car just washes back up the track, and unfortunately there for Applegate, nowhere for him to go here. Applegate just trying to keep himself out of it, sees this 18 ride running into problems, and ends up getting some fairly good damage on his own car here. And for one of our playoff drivers, definitely not what you want to see, as he's going to watch this 18 right here shoot back up the track into the outside fence, and right here going to bounce, oh man, right down onto him. He probably almost missed him, but it looked like maybe potentially neck code right there, still giving him a piece of damage onto the front end of that 57 ride. We'll have to wait and see how bad that damage is, as we will see everybody come down pit road. All of our lead lap drivers head down pit side here. A lot of our lap down drivers looking to get the lucky dogs or the wave arounds here, as we do see Aiden Lucas does get that lucky dog back onto the lead lap. Great break there for one of our playoff competitors here this evening that was unfortunately stuck a lap down. For Applegate, doesn't look like too much damage there, so the net code doesn't look like it quite necessarily affected the cosmetics of this ride. Now there may be damage that we can't see underneath the hood or into that suspension or anything else of that 57 ride. We'll have to wait and see how this car performs as we go back to green flag racing. But right now, Applegate, he is now the first car 1 lap down, but he's staying out on the racetrack here. Looks like him, Nathan Brookover, the 222 ride of Jason Kinney, all looking to get these wave arounds here. Same with Jonathan Gaston, trying to work their way closer to the lead lap. For some of them back onto the lead lap, others trying to get laps back here this evening. And Applegate, one of our playoff competitors, desperately needing to get back onto the lead lap, back into the action here, trying to salvage a solid day and a solid finish here to potentially put him into a good position going into our final elimination race next Saturday, and trying to race his way back in to our championship in a couple weeks. As Dylan Carrier, though, our race leader, as the caution flag was thrown, holds on to the race lead down on pit road as he comes back out with that race lead. It's still Brian Underwood there in position number 2. Jordan Hand in third with the number 2, Landon Burbage, and that Prince's Towing number 2 ride in position number 4. And then we see the doppelganger to the 2 ride there, the number 5 ride of Josh Crider in that 5th position. To his outside in the 89, that is Melvin Branguer. Restarting here in 7th is Evan Stewart. To his outside is the 3 of Jordan Crider. Then we do see James Efa and Aiden Lucas rounding out our top 10. Applegate back on the lead lap as he gets that wave around. He will be in 11th. And Nathan Brookover back on the lead lap here himself. They're in position number 12. Chris Getz now the first car 1 lap down out on the racetrack. He is going to hope for another quick caution flag, hopefully trying to get himself back into the action and back onto the lead lap here this evening, as well as Dylan Carrier looking for another big restart, looking for another great launch out there on the racetrack, trying to keep all these other drivers back there at bay as we get ready to go back to green flag racing here at Kansas Speedway. As down through the Geico restart zone, we will see that green flag fly here once again. So the green flag back out and onto the racetrack. So quickly, Dylan Carrier quickly onto the throttle here, trying to open up that race lead. He loves to see these two battle, and back there behind him is Jordan Hand looking to try to slide up and take position number 2 back away from Brian Underwood. Underwood will slide back to 3rd, but here comes Landon Burbage. Burbage right there ready to make a couple moves, ready to put himself into this battle for that third spot on the racetrack as he's trying to slide around Brian Underwood for position number 3. You do see the doppelganger, the number 5 right there, Josh Crider. Crider gets a piece of the outside fence down the front straightaway here, and unfortunately slides back a couple spots as Melvin Brengruer and Evan Stewart able to get around him. So Crider falls back into 7th as his brother Jordan Crider right there behind him. Now Jordan having a heck of a run and a great day here in that 3 machine as he rolls in the 8th position. James Efaw, who was able to get that lucky dog not too long ago, still trying to get a hang of this 88 ride, trying to hang on to it as he's very, very loose down through 3 and 4. Unfortunately, does have to roll out of the throttle, loses a spot there to Aiden Lucas, and falls back into the 10th position as that Roto Roofer number 88 machine back there into the 10th position. Aiden Lucas, who just got that lucky dog, one of our playoff competitors here, the Bass Pro Shops Tracker Boats number 20 machine, now into the 9th position. Applegate, unfortunately, does have the older tires, the less fuel. He's still behind the ball a little bit, but back onto the lead lap here for the 57 ride. Definitely a breath of fresh air for him, being back on the lead lap, able to continue to keep on battling here this evening, inviting potentially another caution flag or two. Could be right back into the thick of things here this evening. As Brian says, good to see a one-car team still in the playoffs. Let's go, Landon. Yeah, Landon doing a fantastic job here all season long. Obviously, being that one-car field with Matthew Wood not being a full-time competitor here on the season, it has been very, very tough for him. We have seen a couple different drivers roll with him and be a part of that Powerhouse Motorsports team, as we did see the beautiful Prestige Enterprises ride for quite a while racing with these guys, but we haven't seen Prestige Enterprises car and the number 4 out there on the racetrack for quite some time, so it's been Landon basically all by himself for multiple races, especially here in these playoffs, but he's still sticking with it, doing a fantastic job, and here he is having another good run up inside the top 5, hoping to finish this one off strong, trying to get as many points as possible and head to that elimination race in a good position, or potentially find some speed here late in this race and pick up the win and potentially lock his way into that championship finale in a couple weeks. As Dylan Carrier, though, looking to play spoiler for all of those playoff drivers, he continues to lead the way here. He has been that reflection of perfection here all evening long, biting some of those green flag pit stops after the first stage there. For this 31 ride, he has been out in front and leading all these laps here this evening. He has been the car to beat. He has continued to just do a fantastic job here and continues to try to keep all these drivers back there at bay. As Carrier out in front, showing these drivers that he's not going to give it up easily. They're going to have to try to figure out a way to beat him here today. We did see Jordan Hand there at the end of stage number 2 start to put the pressure there on Dylan Carrier. So I'm not sure. Potentially Jordan Hand has worked on that car, has found the extra little speed, or potentially the strategy to work out how to race his way up and into the action here this evening, and potentially could battle with Dylan Carrier for that race win later on in the evening. As Brian Underwood rolls there in 3rd, Landon Burbage back there in position number 4 and looking for more. Melvin Brengruer back there in 5th, as Brengruer having himself a solid day at the racetrack up inside the top 5, as we did see some unfortunate issues here. We saw Jason Kinney come down pit side here. I'm not sure if Kinney's still rolling out there. Doesn't look like it. So it looks like Jason Kinney's night, unfortunately, has come to a close here. So Kinney, his first race of the season, unfortunately coming to an end. We do see Ben Gleason now down pit side here for an extended period of time as well. Gleason, not sure what happened to the 66 run. He was running on the lead lap up inside the top 10 for a lot of this race, and now parked down pit road since lap number 95, has not rejoined this race as of yet. That is a heartbreaker there for Ben Gleason after having such a strong start to this race, and it's a tough spot for him. As Anna says, so proud of my grandson. Cheer it on Landon Burbage here this evening. As Landon continuing to run there in position number 4 as Dylan Carrier out in front. Carrier has that race lead. He is looking very, very strong here this evening. It's going to be tough to try to jump up and beat him here this evening. It's going to be a difficult thing to do for a lot of these drivers, so we'll have to keep an eye on what he's able to do, how he's able to perform here today, and try to keep himself alive and able to keep on battling out there on the racetrack. As Craig Michael Deacon, what's good, Craiger? Craig coming in, showing the love with the like on the stream. Craig coming in, dropping that thumbs up over there on Facebook, showing the the love here in this one. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, make sure you guys do us a favor right now. It's absolutely free to do. Helps us out a ton. Make sure you guys do exactly what Craig Michael Deacon did right there. Hit that thumbs up button on the broadcast. Hit that like button. Hit that share button. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Become part of the Peacemaker family here today. And if you want to help us out even more, hit that join button. Look at some of the exclusive opportunities you have to be a part of the exclusive Peacemaker Members Club over there on YouTube or Facebook and Twitch as well. As we continue to keep on battling, Martin says he's doing pretty good on his lines. Yeah, right now he's doing fantastic out there for Dylan Carrier, man. He has not made very many mistakes here on the evening. Just continues to hit his marks, running some great laps out there, continuing to just be that consistent reflection of perfection out there on the racetrack, and that's what this league is all about, man. We see this week in, week out, man. These drivers putting on one heck of a show and amazing races for us, man, and very minimal caution flags. Nothing but good, hard, respectful racing out there on the racetrack, and that's what it's all about for these drivers, knowing that they can come here and have a good race, and if they've got a good car, that they can just try to run away with it and put themselves up and into the winner's circle. But sometimes early on in these runs, someone may look a little bit good, and they may make a little bit of a mistake. Is right there, you do see that 31 ride finally slip up. Gets a piece of the outside fence right there, potentially. Some solid front end damage here for that 31. Looks like all four corners still kind of in a good position here, so it doesn't look like he got into the fence too hard where it's really bowed out those front bumpers or anything else. The front fenders aren't really tore up, so that's good news. But unfortunately for Dylan Carrier, it did lose quite a bit of momentum. The lead that he had built up, he was over a second again in front of Brian Underwood and Jordan Hand. That lead is now cut down to about a 2/10 right there, so he did make a 2/10 of a second mistake out there on the racetrack, and now allowing Brian Underwood and Jordan Hand to try to reel him in a little quicker here as teammates in the Redemption Motorsports cars battle there in second and third on the racetrack. Landon Burbage there in fourth as landed in that Prince's Towing number 2 machine. Rolls there on that fourth position. Melvin Brangroer, Evan Stewart, Jordan Crider, Josh Crider, Aiden Lucas, and James Efa round out our top 10 on the racetrack. For Grant Applegate definitely off the pace here. He was last down pit road on lap number 81, where everyone else was able to come down pit road there during that last caution flag on lap number 95. Unfortunately for Applegate, he had to take that waiver out, trying to play that strategy to try to keep himself on the lead lap here this evening. It gave him the waiver out, got him back on to the lead lap here, but obviously with the older tires and the opposite side of that strategy is now he's going to be falling farther and farther behind our race leaders, and quickly they may come up to him and put him a lap down, especially if we don't see another quick caution flag, allowing Applegate and Nathan Brookover the opportunity to come down pit side and use their fresh tires to their advantage. So we'll have to keep a close eye on that and see how quickly Dylan Carrier and the rest of our race leaders hunt down these drivers. As in front, Dylan Carrier with the race lead here, about 3/4 of a second in front of Brian Underwood. So Underwood slowly but surely chipping away at that race lead and drawing inch by inch by inch closer to the back bumper here with Dylan Carrier. Now, to be able to catch up to Dylan is one thing. Being able to make a move and make the pass on him to steal that race lead away from that 31 is a whole different story. No one's been able to do it so far here today, so we'll have to wait and see if somebody can do it here later in this race and potentially steal this win away from that 31. As Underwood rolls there in second, Jordan Hand, his teammate, back there in third. Landon Burbage in the Prince's Towing number 2 ride there in position number 4, and then a big gap all the way here to the 89 ride as Melvin Brangroer there into 5th. Evan Stewart, Jordan Crider, and now we do see Aiden Lucas up inside the top 5. So Aiden now into that 8th position as we see Ryan Haller maybe potentially going onto the hauler. Let's take a look back here. The Cummins Rush Truck Centers number 99 ride looks like he's going to take that outside fence. Unfortunately, pushes him down the racetrack, down through the grass. There's a little landscaping right there. Luckily enough, doesn't look like that damage too extensive. He's able to keep that car pointing in the right direction, even coming back onto the racetrack with those dirty tires, all that dirt grass and grime on those tires, able to keep it pointed in the right direction, keep on rolling, no caution flag. We keep it clean and green, but some solid front end damage now for that number 99 machine, as Dylan Carrier out in front, showing them how to get it done here in this one, as Anna says, come on, baby, let's show them what you got. Trying to show all these drivers what he's got. As Landon Burbage does move up into third now after making his way around Brian Underwood. Underwood all of a sudden slides back into position number 4. Not too long ago, he was in second position and trying to hunt down our race leader, but potentially a mistake out of the number 6 ride. He falls back a couple spots, loses a few seconds there to Dylan Carrier, and now having to really play catch up. And now for Dylan Carrier, he's once again opened up and over a 1 second lead advantage here, going into about 1.2 seconds between himself and Jordan Hand. Hand trying to close that gap up, trying to hunt him down here. We'll have to wait and see how hard Hand pushes this OKC machine, that Oklahoma City Thunder number 11 Ryan, trying to hunt down our race leader. A second behind him, you do see Landon Burbage and Brian Underwood. About 3 seconds behind these two, we do see Melvin Brenger there in position number 5. Jordan Crider having himself a great day at the racetrack, rolls there in 6th now after getting around Evan Stewart, and quickly we do see Aiden Lucas jumping right into this fight here up inside the top 8. So we'll see if Aiden can continue to keep on driving back up towards the front of the field here after having to make a additional pit stop there during our first wave of green flag pit stops. Making that mistake down pit side unfortunately cost him a lap. He had to get that lucky dog during the last caution flag, was able to get back onto the lead lap, and here he is trying to race his way back through the top 10, trying to race his way back into contention here this evening. But for Dylan Carrier, continuing to lead the way here this evening, trying to keep himself out in front. We heard from this 31 Ryan that fuel could be a bit of a potential aspect of this race, but after we saw that caution flag come out and everyone come down pit side on lap number 95, that gave them virtually about a 10 lap buffer right there to the good, and I think that really is what they needed to potentially be able to make it on fuel here without any issues. Now they will have to come down pit road, make a green flag pit stop here, and probably, I'm going to say, about the next 15-20 laps, we'll probably see drivers start to head and migrate down pit side. Now for them, luckily enough, they should have enough fuel after that pit stop that they won't have to try to battle back up towards the front of the field here in this one, as Carrier continuing to show these drivers that he is the car to beat here this evening. Jordan Hand, though, we saw this before. We saw this at the end of stage number 2. All of a sudden, it's like he turned on the afterburners and started to hunt down this 31 ride. Carrier's car starts to fall off. The 11 ride really starts to pick up that pace, especially when that 31 ride starts to get a little bit of that dirty air, starts to run into some of that lap traffic. But Dylan could potentially also just trying to save a little bit of equipment here, not wanting to push that car too hard right now. No, they had that bit of a gap. He's got some time to kind of just hang on to those tires for a little bit longer than what maybe a Jordan Hand is right now. His Hand trying to hunt him down. Now he's starting to struggle, though, trying to get around this 8 ride, as well as the bad air, the dirty air that comes off the car around you, unfortunately can slow you down quite a bit. And for the 11 ride of Jordan Hand, does lose about a 0.2 of a second gap right there between himself and Dylan Carrier. So Carrier back up to about 0.7 of a second between himself and this 11 ride of Jordan Hand. Is nice and easy down across the line. They will click off lap number 123 here this evening. So we inch closer and closer to that checker flag here this evening. For Dylan Carrier, he's just trying to keep it perfect, trying to keep it safe and keep all 4 fenders on this race car, knowing that he's got a good enough car. Even if he does lose the race lead right now, potentially could battle back and take this race win away from the 11 machine later on in the evening. So if he's worried about fuel, if he knows it could get tight, then maybe he tries to roll out of the throttle a little bit more, trying to coast that car, where Jordan Hand maybe pushing the subject maybe a little bit harder on his equipment right now, burning up those tires, burning off some extra fuel here, and potentially putting himself into a worse position later in this race. So that strategy's always got to be playing in the back of your mind, and what these other drivers are doing and what you need to do to potentially put yourself up and into the winner's circle here this evening, as we see this fight at the front start to close up here. Landon Burbage and Brian Underwood, they're still battling back here for position number 3. Burbage trying to hang on to it here as Jordan Hand trying to hunt down our race leader. Brian Underwood trying to hunt down this 2 ride, trying to work himself back around Mr. Burbage for position number 3 on the racetrack, and that's bringing Melvin Brangruer, who's a little farther back here, still in this fight, up inside the top 5 by Aiden Lucas, now up and into 6 after getting around Jordan Crider and Evan Stewart. Aiden is trying to hunt down that number 89 ride, trying to race his way back up inside the top 5. For Nathan Brookover, one of those drivers that took the wave around there during that last caution flag, he has now fallen once again a lap down out on the racetrack. And for Grant Applegate, he is potentially going to go a lap down again here as well. He's got much older tires, much older equipment. Unfortunately, he is falling farther and farther behind our race leader. Still has a bit of a gap here, about a straightaway away from our race leaders, but as he continues to keep on rolling, that car, those tires are going to continue to get worse and worse and worse. Potentially may have to make a pit stop before everybody else, and could put him into a weird fuel-saving situation as well, where it's just definitely not a spot you want to be in. Here it is. You do see the 57 run. He couldn't wait any longer. Was hoping to catch that caution flag, but having to come down pit road here. Obviously couldn't make it any farther on the fuel, but luckily enough, I do believe he should be good to make it to the end of this race. So this should be his final pit stop. And for the Finley Farms 57 ride, one of our playoff competitors here this evening, Applegate heads down pit side, trying to get that car fixed up and back out there onto the racetrack here as he does go a lap down. We'll have to wait and see if things cycle back through for that 57 machine. Now, he does not want to make a mistake, get a penalty or anything else down on pit road, as we do see Brookover also down pit side, had to make that green flag pit stop after getting the wave around here himself. So it looks like that 10-15 laps or so could potentially be that buffer zone, but we're starting to see more drivers now that they've kind of hit that fuel window. They know they're kind of good on fuel. They don't have to worry about trying to stretch it a little farther here. For the 5 ride of Josh Crider, he elects to come down pit side as well. So for our lead lap drivers inside the top 10, Josh Crider, the first one to take that bullet and jump down pit road here and make his pit stop here this evening as he heads down pit road. He's getting that car worked on, hoping to try to get it back out onto the racetrack here, and hoping that he can use the fresh tires to his advantage to potentially pull up and potentially leapfrog a lot of these drivers. It's right there. You can really tell the difference between the fresh tires and the old tires, as that's Applegate blowing right by our race leaders like it was nothing and continues to pull away from them. So Applegate racing his way, I do believe, now to only 2 laps down out there on the racetrack. 2 laps, 1 lap down, something like that out there, as he's down across the line, able to get that lap back. Luckily enough from Mr. Crider, you can see just that 1 lap he's able to open up such a big advantage between himself and our race leader Dylan Carrier. So the fresh tires mean so much here at Kansas Speedway, as right now the tire fall off from some of these drivers' best laps to the laps they're racing right now is over 2 seconds. So they're over 2 seconds slower than what they are with those fresh tires. So that means fresh tires are going to be so important here late in this race. For Jordan Crider, he does head down pit side here as well. So Crider making that green flag pit stop, trying to get his car worked on, trying to get himself back into the action here this evening. We did also see, Josh Crider come down pit side, Applegate come down pit road, Nathan Brookover was down pit side as well. So a lot of these drivers, including Chris Getz, who's now headed down pit road here himself. Getz heads down pit side in that 87 ride. So a lot of different strategy being played out here this evening. We'll have to wait and see how it all plays out, as right now only 7 drivers left on the lead lap. Ryan Haller currently sits as the lucky dog, the first car 1 lap down, but he may not hold on to it for long, as Josh Crider trying to hunt him down out there on the racetrack in position number 9. But for Ryan Haller, if he could catch a caution flag right now, it would be a great break for him, as he would get back onto the lead lap and back into the action here this evening. For Dylan Carrier, still trying to hold on to this race lead, and only has about 2/10 between himself and Jordan Hand, as the Hand right there with them. Landon Burbage a little farther back, about 2 seconds back behind those two, and trying to hunt them down. He's still got Brian Underwood right there, as well as our top 4, really separating themselves over 4 seconds back. We see Melvin Brangruer and that 20 ride of Aiden Lucas. Lucas looking to try to move up inside the top 5 here, as here comes Evan Stewart. Stewart going to make that green flag pit stop here as well. So our 7th place driver heads down pit side. So Evan Stewart making the green flag pit stop now. We'll have to wait and see if that's going to forced the hand here as you see some drivers with the new tires, drivers with the old tires, and how that's really affecting their cars. See the 72 ride of Jonathan Gaston in that Gaston's iRacing graphics ride rolled right on by that 31 machine here in this one. And some absolutely amazing racing here today. These drivers putting on a heck of a show for us, and our race leaders getting closer and closer to potentially making these green flag pit stops with now just under, I do believe, 30 laps left to go, 40 laps left to go in this race. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty here in this one in a quick hurry. We're actually getting closer to that 30 laps to go here on the evening, and I think that's going to be a big number for a lot of these drivers, knowing that they can carry that big, long run here. Right now, they've ran the last about 40 laps here clean and green out there on the racetrack, so they can do a 40-lap run without really having any problems. And I think for the 31 of Dylan Carrier, he's got to make the move here, I think, first. I'm not sure. If he wants to make that move first and come down pit side, you got to play kind of some of that strategy game here. Whether or not you come down pit road first or you come down pit road last. And here you go. You do see Dylan Carrier. He is going to elect to head down pit side. So here he comes, trying to get that car checked up, not wanting to speed down pit side. Here comes Landon Burbidge and Melvin Brangwer also down pit road. So Dylan Carrier making that green flag pit stop just after they did. Now here comes Aiden Lucas. Jordan Hand and Brian Underwood are going to stay out here, so they're not coming down pit side as of yet. We'll see if they can stretch it here a little bit longer. Now their plan is to maybe potentially run it a little bit longer here, trying to use that fuel and tires that they have saved up to help them out or give them a little bit better of an advantage. As you do see the 11 make a little bit of a mistake trying to get down pit road right there. Got up onto the apron, unfortunately cut that car right back up the track. Luckily enough, no one got a piece of him. He didn't spin that car around. It'll get it collected and still make pit lane without any mistakes right there, as Brian Underwood right down pit side here with them. Dylan Carrier back out onto the racetrack here, looking to try to use those fresh tires, looking to try to get up through the gears here. As it's Josh Crider who could potentially end up being our race leader here, but down the back straightaway, the 31 of Dylan Carrier, they were out in front by so much that he's able to use it to his advantage to still slide out in front of Josh Crider and Jordan Crider, a pair of drivers who made earlier pit stops trying to use them to their advantage here. They still are behind that number 31 machine. And as Dylan Carrier rounds corner number 1, he's going to go right on by Brian Underwood and Jordan Hand. That is the gap that one lap gives you here. And for Jordan Hand and Brian Underwood, they are losing a ton of time here to Dylan Carrier. Only 1 lap difference on those pit stops, but they are back quite a ways behind that number 31 machine. Now, I'm not sure if they just had slower pit stops or if Carrier had an absolutely amazing pit stop, but for Jordan Hand, he comes out in that 5th position. He's going to have to pass 3 other drivers to try to battle again here with Dylan Carrier. For Underwood, he's battling right now with Evan Stewart, trying to get around Stewart here as he's right there as well. They are both back quite a ways behind our race leader as of right now. About 5.5 seconds the gap between themselves and Dylan Carrier. Carrier once again has this race lead, looking to pull away with it. Landon Burbidge there in position number 2 out there on the racetrack. He's got Jordan Crider, Josh Crider, Jordan Hand, our top 5, as we continue to keep on battling our final green flags pit stops of the day underway, and everyone making those pit stops here, and Carrier back out in front and looking to try to pick up a big checkered flag here this evening, as he has been that reflection of perfection here pretty much all evening long out in front, leading this race and hoping to finish it off with a big checkered flag and a big dub here late in this season. Unfortunately, no longer a part of our playoffs, but still wanting to chase down checkered flags and show that he could be that champion here this year if the playoffs were a little different. If he was a few points better after last Saturday's finish, could have been potentially in the catbird seat, could have been part of the playoffs still, and potentially winning this race like he is, could potentially move straight on into that championship race. Unfortunately, just a few points difference can either make you a part of the playoffs or take you out of the playoffs. And unfortunately for Dylan, he unfortunately missed out on moving forward into this 3rd round of the playoffs here this year and got eliminated last Saturday. But in front, looking to try to pick up a big checkered flag here this evening with only 26 laps left to go, 25 laps this time by the start-finish line. The next time by the start-finish line for this number 31 is we're going to take a very quick Peacemaker Gaming crank it up here. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite drivers as we crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming. Alrighty, give it up here for all these drivers. A beautiful crank it up session, and we got a huge turn of the tables here this evening as our new race leader is going to be this 2-ride of Landon Burbage. Burbage now out in front. He leads the way here this evening as during our Peacemaker Gaming crank it up. Burbage able to take the race lead as issues for Dylan Carrier, and Carrier taking his car right off of the racetrack here. Let's take a look and see what happens to the Snap-on Tools number 31 ride as he rolls down and onto the back straightaway here. Not sure what happens to him, but the car just keeps on turning left here. Doesn't look like the wheels are turned left, but all of a sudden, through the middle of this corner, not sure what happens here to Dylan Carrier, but Carrier, after having such a great run all day long and leading the most laps out of anybody here this evening, he was out in front virtually all race long, and hard contact into the inside fence. That car is absolutely destroyed. No caution flag as he's able to tow it back down pit lane, and unfortunately looks like his day is done. That car is cooked, and for the 2-ride of Landon Burbage, he now has the race lead. So Burbage now in the catbird seat, but he does have a couple lap older tires than Jordan Hand. His hand right there behind him, trying to push for potentially what could be a big race win here this evening, and potentially putting himself into that championship finale here this year. But Landon Burbage, he's in that exact same situation. Same with Brian Underwood and now Aiden Lucas. Josh Crider up and into position number 5. So 5 of our top 6 competitors here this evening in that championship battle up inside the top 5. The only driver a part of our championship contenders here this evening that is not a part of the top 5 right now or part of the top 6 is Grant Applegate. Applegate, who ran into issues, had to make different pit stops. He finds himself back here in position number 9 right now on the racetrack, and unfortunately back in 9th. He is still on the lead lap, but unfortunately he's given up a few points here to our our race leaders in our top 5 out there on the racetrack. As of right now, Jordan Hand, though, able to make the move, and he made a move around Landon Burbage to take the race lead away. Burbage, though, trying to battle back, trying to look back down to his inside as the Prince is towing. Number 2 machine rolls there in second now as Cryptic says, my game crashed. I can't believe this. Oh, Dylan, brother, what a heartbreaker, brother. That is such a heartbreaker, such a bummer. It seems like every time, brother, you have a good run, a good car, potentially in position to win one of these races, something goes wrong with you, whether it's your cat turning your PC off or knocking water onto it or losing power or somebody, using too many pieces of appliances in the house at the same time and blowing a breaker or just something always seems to go wrong for him. As Cryptic says, this new update is garbage. He says it's garbage. Dylan, I don't know about you, brother, but I haven't had an issue with it. I mean, I do have a very good PC, so I don't know what the issue would be for me, but for you, brother, that's a heartbreaker, man. That's a heartbreaker. It's a tough one to take after being the dominant car all evening long, sitting in such a good position, over 2-second lead advantage there, and having fairly good tires, not really giving up much to Jordan Hand or the number 6 of Brian Underwood, looking like you were going to be able to just drive away with this race win and put yourself up into victory lane. Now that you sit down pit side off the racetrack, Jordan Hand has this race lead after getting around Landon Burbage. Burbage trying to stay in second with Brian Underwood back there in third. They're all right there together, less than a second separating our top 3 competitors out there on the racetrack. About 4 seconds back, you do see Aiden Lucas as the Tracker Boats Bass Pro Shops ride back up inside the top 5 here this evening, sits in that 4th position. Josh Crider in his machine rolls there in position number 5 on the racetrack with Melvin Brangrew, though, right on his back bumper. Now Brangrew does have about 7 lap better tires than this number 5 ride, and should be able to make a quick move here in getting around this number 5 ride and sliding Josh potentially outside of the top 5. And for one of our playoff drivers, that's a very valuable point that you do not want to lose. So he's trying his best to try to keep Melvin back there at bay. Is Jordan Crider there in 7th, Evan Stewart there in 8th, Applegate back in 9th, Nathan Brookover there in position number 10 with Chris Getz, James Efa, Ryan Haller, Noah Blackwell, Dylan Carrier, Farrell Farrell Robbins, Ben Gleason, Jonathan Gaston, Jason Kinney, and Matthew Wood. Actually, Matthew not out there. Is Jason Kinney bringing up the rear of the field here in this one as Martin says, have a good night. You as well, Martin. Have yourself a wonderful night, brother. Enjoy the rest of your day here as Griffin says, so many people keep crashing. I'm like the 5th person to crash tonight. Oh, no. Oh, no. Everyone else out there seems to be crashing. Everyone else having issues here. Who else crashed? I'm assuming Ben Gleason probably crashed. Potentially Gaston. Farrell Robbins definitely did in the 76 ride, so definitely a few drivers just having those issues and having problems, especially here tonight, man. That is a tough time. Is out in front, though. Jordan Hand continuing to lead the way here. Jordan has about a 4/10 of a second gap now between himself and that do-ride of Landon Burbage as Jordan leads us down the back straightaway nice and easy down into corner number 3. Sends it down into 3, nice and easy, no mistakes out of this Oklahoma City Thunder number 11 ride. He'll around corner number 4 and down across the start-finish line. He will see 2 laps left to go. So 2 laps left here for the 11 ride as Jordan Hand looking to capture this checkered flag. And for Hand, this is a big win here this evening. This is a big opportunity for him to park this car up in victory lane as it will lock him in to that championship 4 battle in a couple weeks' time. So for Jordan Hand, just not wanting to see that caution flag, not wanting to see any late race issues here, he quickly heads down through corner 3 and out of 4. Back down across the line here, he will see that white flag fly. So for the final time here this evening from Kansas Speedway in the Premium Stock Car Racing League, Jordan Hand will send it down in through corner number 1 and out of corner number 2. He will take us back down the back straightaway for the final time here this evening. Stretching out that race lead here now by about 0.8 of a second is Landon Burbage trying to hold on to position number 2 as Jordan Hand down through 3 and out of 4. He will be the first driver to clinch his way into our championship race in a couple weeks' time. Jordan Hand is now a part of that final 4 championship race at Auto Club Speedway. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for Jordan Hand as he picks up the checkered flag here at Kansas Speedway, locking himself in and knowing that he will have an opportunity to duke it out in battle for the championship once again here this year in the Premium Stock Car Racing League. What a run and what a drive right there for Jordan Hand, man. What a performance, what an opportunity there, brought to you by the PC crashing for Dylan Carrier. And Hand able to get the win here. He was kind of handed that one with the PC issues there for Dylan Carrier, as now he gets to celebrate. He gets the party. He knows that he is locked in. He will be one of 4 drivers to duke it out at Auto Club Speedway in a couple weeks for that championship here in the Premium Stock Car Racing League. For Landon Burbage, a great run, a great drive there for him. Burbage coming home in second, getting some valuable points all evening long, trying to, potentially point his way or win his way next week into that championship finale. Same with Brian Underwood and Aiden Lucas there in 4th. Josh Crider rounding out our top 5 here. Great run there for Crider. Unfortunately, the only driver to really have an issue that was a part of our championship contenders was Grant Applegate. Applegate finished back in 9th here, so really not too far away from those drivers, but still giving up some very valuable points here this late in the season. Those are points that you do not want to give up, you don't want to have to throw away, and for Grant, unfortunately, did not get very good stage points here as well on the evening compared to Jordan Hand, Landon Burbage, Brian Underwood. So for those drivers, definitely getting the upper hand going in to this next elimination race next Saturday. But for Jordan Hand, he is locked in. He does not have to stress next week. He can come dead last and not have to worry, as he will still be a part of our championship battle in 2 weeks' time. And we'll get ready to pull Jordan in the rest of our top 3 up and into the broadcast booth here this evening for their post-race interviews. Hey, Jordan. Hey, Jordan. It's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Jordan, brother, what a run, what a drive, man. Take us back through this one as you're able to luckily get the break that you were looking for here all evening long, and that was watching the 31 right. Unfortunately, lose connection here at iRacing, and all of a sudden end up down pit side, and that allows you, Landon Burbage, and Brian Underwood to duke it out here for the race win here this evening, and obviously having a couple lap better tires, you're able to catch up to that 2 ride of Landon Burbage, put the pressure onto his back bumper, bide your time, wait for the right moment to strike, and as you do, you jump up, take that race lead away from him, and then you run away with it here in the closing laps as you pull that 11 ride up and into victory lane, and now know that you're the first driver and right now the only driver locked in to that championship finale in a couple weeks.
Yeah, man, that was crazy. I mean, I really hate that for Dylan. I mean, that was terrible for one. I just want to tell him, that's just, I don't know if his computer crashed or what exactly happened, but it was really unfortunate though, because I think we would have got to him, to be honest with you. I've been like the fastest car for like on the long run, so I think I would have got to him. I definitely think it would have put on a hell of a show. But I honestly I thought I was screwed. I don't know if you caught it on broadcast, but Gaston was coming to pit and he didn't say anything, and then I hit him, because he was on old tires, of course, and it came up on the track a little bit more than he should. So that was tough, but yeah, I got passed by Brian and Landon because of that, and then we were still fast enough to get riding them, and like I said, I'm just feel awful for Dylan, but it feels good to be locked in. I'm glad to go to Dover, not even have to worry about anything, to be completely honest with you. Just go in there and have fun. But yeah, man, one hell of a race though, no?
Yeah, absolutely. Hell of a race, hell of a run here, obviously up inside the top 3, top 5 pretty much all evening long, and a lot of that time, spent chasing down that 31 ride. Take us back through some of these stages and kind of what was going through your mind out there, knowing that Dylan was definitely going to be the car to beat here this evening, and biting, having that late long green flag run where we saw there at the end of stage number 2, you were able to track him back down and catch up to him. You weren't able to steal that stage win away from him, but you were able to stick right there with him there late in that stage, obviously giving you that confidence and that ability to potentially try to beat him here this evening, man. You talked about how you thought you would have caught him, you would have had that advantage, obviously, with the 1 lap better tires there. How close do you think it would have been? Do you think it would have been a nail biter right down to the end, or do you think maybe that pit stop and that little bit of contact there with Gaston might have slowed you up just a little bit, and obviously battling with Landon Burbage, trying to get around him later in this race too, might have been a little too much and a little too far of a gap there for you to hunt down that 31.
Yeah, I mean, I think we would have got there before the Gaston incident, but after that, I definitely don't think we would have. Personally, I lost quite a bit of time. I knew I'd get back around, Brian and Landon, but I don't think I would have probably got back to Dylan. I think he would have had it pretty much locked up. So, like I said, man, I hate that for him. But yeah, I don't know. It was up with Landon, man. He did some silly things tonight. I don't know why he was driving me like a I don't know. Well, he might be the new Ryan Newman. I don't know. But that's pretty much quite a bit faster than him. I love him. He's a great driver, but I know we're going for points and all, but man, I thought he was going to take us both out there when he did the crossover for no reason. So I got out of the gas to let him, so I didn't want to run him over and cause us both to lose points, right? So I don't know. It was interesting, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very interesting. And obviously battling for what ended up being the pass for the race win, and battling there not only for points, but to be able to lock yourself into those playoffs, and knowing that you're going to be a part of that championship in a couple weeks, and you can go to Dover and just have fun with it, not have to worry about points, or if you get tied up in a big wreck or anything else, so you don't have to stress about it. You're locked in. You're the only driver out of the 6 competitors here left in these playoffs to be able to go into this next race, free and clear, free mind, not have to worry about points, stage points. You can just run your race and try to build up that momentum and everything else, and focus mainly on that championship race in a couple weeks.
Yeah, man, we go in there and see if we can go back to back, right? And I like Dover. It's one fun track, personally. I mean, I'll be interested to see what the setup looks like. If it's going to be really tight, I bet it is. This setup tonight is probably one of the most tight setups I've ever raced, to be completely honest with you. I felt like I had to drive like I was at Darlington in 1 and 2. So that it took me a little bit to get used to that, because I've never had to do that at Kansas. So that was interesting. But yeah, man, it'll be fun getting over and just not have to worry about anything. So we can cook up and strategy or anything like that. But let's just get the Auto Club and see what happens, right?
Absolutely trying to chase down that Season 5 championship here this year. Jordan, congratulations on the win here tonight. Congratulations on locking your way into that Championship 4 finale here in a couple weeks. But man, who would you like to thank for such a great run and strong performance here this evening and capturing tonight's checkered flag?
I just want to shout out everybody. Everybody showed up tonight. It was really green flag racing. I think we had one caution. I didn't get to really see what happened, but just shout out to everybody that showed up tonight. Thank you to you for putting on the broadcast, and thanks to Brian and Josh for putting on the league, and just it's just been one heck of a season, and I can't believe it's already almost over. I feel like it's flown by, but just want to thank everybody for coming and watching also, and I just want to shout out my wife. She's the best, and happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. Jordan, congratulations on the race win. Congratulations on the great run, and we look forward to seeing you back out there on the racetrack next Saturday at Dover.
Sounds good, buddy.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner. Jordan, hand his hand, picks up the checkered flag here this evening. As Anna says, yay for Landon. Number 2 is just as good. Great night. So proud of my boys. So proud of your boys here tonight. I appreciate that. Appreciate you tuning in, Anna. As Heyitskevcustoms, my boy, Mr. Ryan Haller says, not my best race, but I'll take 13th after late race damage. Had to nurse my water to the end. Brother, sometimes that's what it's all about, just nursing, trying to keep that car together, keep it pointing the right direction, and still bringing it home here, and not running into any more issues there late in the race that could have affected the race. You could have went around, could have had more issues, and could have easily brought out a caution flag, which could have really reshaped this final 3 here this evening. But great on you, being able to keep it pointed in the right direction. Keep on battling here this evening as we will get ready now to pull in our second place driver, Landon Burbage. Is Burbage coming home here in position number 2? Let's get him up here into the broadcast booth. Hey, Landon, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
A copy.
Landon, brother, heck of a run, heck of a drive here for you tonight. Take us back through this one. What's kind of going through your mind here now as the checkered flag is thrown? It's obviously a lot of different strategies there throughout the first 2 stages, and then late in this race, trying to time those, late race pit stops perfectly, trying to hold on and then try to hold off the 11 right of Jordan Hand there for what was the race win.
Yeah, when we had that last pit stop there, Jordan came out a little bit after me, so I kind of knew he already had fresh tires. And when that thing happened to Dylan, I was like, okay, all right, let's start saving a little bit. And then I started trying to push, and Jordan just started catching me. I guess I was burning up my tires a little bit. So I tried to cool him off. He was still catching me. And then I guess on that last, whatever turn he passed me on, I kind of messed up the turn. I kind of shot it in there too much, and I was kind of too close to the wall, so I didn't want to hit it. So I had to lift, and it kind of cost me the win there. But I mean, he had fresher tires no matter what. He was probably going to pass me eventually. So, that was a good win for him. Good thing for us. This race put us in a good position in points to hopefully fight for the championship.
Yeah, absolutely. Earning those bonus points throughout the stages and earning these good points at the finish of this race. Trying to set yourself up here for an easy breezy Dover, which is going to be, I feel, very, very chaotic. We may see a bunch of caution flags or see a crazy race there where you got to be on top of your game. You got to make sure you don't have any mistakes at Dover. And having a good race here tonight really sets you up for, if you do run into an issue, at least you got a little bit of points to bank on. Not a whole lot there, as you're going to be top 4 here in those point standings, or potentially picking up that win next week to be able to race for this championship here in a couple weeks' time, man. How you feeling? How confident are you headed to Dover, knowing that you should have a few points above that cut line, but not as many as I'm sure you'd like to have if you were that race winner tonight being locked in?
Yeah, so I'd really would have liked the win tonight, but I'm still 20 points above the cut. Unfortunately, Grant and Aiden had a bad race tonight, which kind of set us up good, but unfortunate to them. But going into Dover, I've ran that track so many times. I kind of got it dialed in, but you never know what's to come there. I mean, it's a short track, 200 laps. I mean, there's a lot can happen in 200 laps. So hopefully get some practice in and try to go for the win at Dover.
Absolutely. Well, we look forward to seeing you guys back out there on the racetrack. But Landon, who would you like to thank here this evening for such a great run and great performance here at Kansas Speedway?
First, I want to say my dad, tell him Happy Father's Day, and my mom, my girlfriend Lacey, my grandpa, my grandma, everybody that watches me. Remington Prince, he owns the Princess Towing Company. Shout out to him. Shout out to Noah for making all the paints for me. Uh, just everybody. We put on a great show tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we definitely had your fans in the stands here this evening. Obviously, I do believe it's your grandma and your grandpa there, Anna and Brian Alessandro. Hopefully, I'm saying that right.
Yes, right.
Yeah, they were in the chat there. Brian definitely not very happy with the number 5 rider, Josh Crider, here this evening. As take us through the decision there. I don't know if you know or if there was an inside joke there or whether or not the 5 rider Crider there running a fairly identical paint scheme to yours here this evening.
Good thing is his didn't look as good as mine. So, but anyways, I guess he was just trying to mess with my head or something like that. But I mean, I couldn't see him the whole race because he was behind me. So, but I don't know what kind of joke he was trying to play there, but didn't work for me.
Absolutely. Well, that's what you got to do, brother. Just focus on and keep your eyes going at the windshield and not in that rear view mirror. That's why it's much bigger than the back window. As landed, heck of a run, heck of a drive here this evening, brother. Congrats on the second place finish, and we look forward to seeing you back out there in action at Dover next Saturday night.
Yeah, man. Try to go for the win.
Beauty. We look forward to it.
All right.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for Landon Burbage as Burbage comes home here in position number 2 here this evening. Heck of a run, heck of a drive there for that number 2 machine. As we'll get ready now to pull in our third place finisher. It's Brian Underwood. Underwood coming home here in P3. Let's get him up here into the broadcast booth. Hey, Brian, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Ryan, brother, another solid run, another great drive here for you in that Bang Energy number 6 machine, man. Take us back through this race and what's kind of going through your mind right now as you're able to come home with a very solid podium run.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious. Clean air was huge. Learning that in practice, so it was basically just trying to make sure I didn't make mistakes, which I made quite a few with that wall. We made love a couple of times, and definitely set me back on a couple of the runs, especially there at the end. I might have shot with Dylan having his connection problems, maybe. I don't know. Me and Jordan were catching them. So that part sucked, but overall, it's just looking for consistency, like always. I was able to click off, second, third in stages, and third for the finish. So I think I did pretty well besides the hiccups.
Yeah, obviously getting up, kissing that outside fence a few times here this evening, costing you some, good track position. A couple times out there, we saw you battling up into second there a couple times, then finding that outside fence and washing back to that third, fourth spot there. But it seemed like it was really Dylan Carrier, Jordan Hand, Landon Burbage, and yourself here battling at the front of the field pretty much all evening long, and that's exactly what it comes down to. Obviously, Dylan running into his problems, but you watch your teammate Jordan Hand there late in the race pull away from you, battling it with that 2-rider Landon Burbage, and then go on to win this race and lock his way into the championship finale here in a couple weeks. And for yourself, being able to stick right there with them, coming home with a solid third place run and getting those valuable points, man. How you feeling going into Dover, knowing that you're going to have a bit of a buffer zone there between yourself and that cut line for this final elimination race next weekend?
Yeah, I think the 4 of us there pretty much all race are running about the same laps. Just depend on who had that clean air. And points, I mean, Phil, it's nice to have, a 12 point over the cutoff, which is nice, but definitely gonna look to be consistent for next week and try never want to let your guard down. I think was a Dylan last week had like 14 points and totally just lost it. So Really no points safe except for Jordan. Got like I was saying in the Discord earlier, the final 6 guys are definitely been the top 6. I feel like all season. A lot of speed, so you can't really count anybody out.
Absolutely can't count anybody out, and all it takes is that one driver below that cut line to have a good race and potentially win that race, and all of a sudden you find yourself on the outside of the cut line looking in here, and for yourself, knowing that you want to go back and pick that championship back up and be that back-to-back champion when it comes to our next season, it's going to come right down to the wire. It's going to be a nail-biter, and it's going to be very exciting to watch not only you, but the rest of these drivers do get out here for those final 3 positions here in that championship contention here tomorrow, well, Saturday night. But for yourself, Brian, able to have a great run. As you said, that consistency, it is key. You've been Mr. Consistency all season long, and you come home with another 3rd place run here at Kansas and setting yourself up for what could be a solid run and another opportunity at a championship here in a couple weeks. Brother, who would you like to thank for your great run and great performance here at Kansas?
Yeah, I gotta thank you putting on the show. Gotta thank all the drivers tonight. No cautions, basically. One was from Noah's technical issue that made him lag out, and I don't know what he did exactly, but he died. And so everybody that raced tonight is a very clean race. It was definitely a frustrating setup. Camp, it was hard to pass. So everybody did well there, and just gotta thank all the admins that help out, and all my teammates, and then gotta shout out Mr. Brookover getting 9th place. I think that's his first top 10 of the season. So he's definitely thrilled with that. So it's great racing every Saturday. Like I said, I just do this for fun, and it's definitely been another fun season so far.
Absolutely, brother. It's been a very fun season, and we can't wait for the next 2 races to see who will pick up the championship here this season. Brian, congrats on the great run, congrats on the great drive, and we look forward to seeing you back out there on the racetrack at Dover.
Yes, sir. See you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our 3rd place finisher, Brian Underwood. As Underwood comes home here in position number 3, very solid run, very good drive there for that number 6 ride here today. Underwood having a great performance out there on the racetrack and able to gain some very valuable points there. A great recovery there for Aiden Lucas to still come home inside the top 4, and for Josh Crider, another one of our playoff contenders here this evening, having a solid run up inside the top 10 pretty much all evening long and still coming home in that 5th position, able to hold off Melvin Branger late in this race. For Applegate, the farthest back finisher here in this race out of our final 6 drivers in the playoffs. Definitely not the run that he was hoping for here today. He's definitely going to be looking to go to Dover and just show up and show out and hopefully try to pick up a checkered flag and lock himself in to that championship finale again here this year. As we'll get ready to, unfortunately, call it a night. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we can't thank you guys enough for tuning in and showing the love here all evening long. Everyone coming in with the likes, the comments, the shares. Everyone showing the love here throughout the evening and even throughout both broadcasts here, as we did have that connection issue early on in the evening after, I think it was about 35 laps, something like that. We lost connection there. Not with internet. Internet was fine all night long. Streamlabs, though, decided it wanted to crash on us. Unfortunately, just started skipping a ton of frames and couldn't get anything going with it. And we couldn't get it fixed without having to end the stream, so we had to end it. Trying to go back live a few times. Had to restart the streaming PC and got it back up and going. And luckily enough, no issues here on the second part of the broadcast. So we appreciate everyone who was watching in that first one, in the first broadcast, and liked and shared it and everything else. And then still came over here to watch and continue watching and enjoying the finale of this race here this evening. So we appreciate that, and we appreciate all of you for tuning in and showing the love here this evening. But we can't wait to see you guys back in action next Saturday as these drivers will go back to battle. We'll actually see a lot of these drivers in our broadcast tomorrow night as well. We'll see a lot of these same competitors in action duking it out tomorrow night, as we will be jumping in with the Wheel-to-Wheel Racing League tomorrow night. That will be our one and only broadcast tomorrow evening, so hopefully we'll see you guys there. Hopefully we'll see you guys back up in the grandstands cheering these drivers on. But thank you all for watching. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll catch you all in the next one. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen. Peace and love, chat.
Strapped in tight, ready, V8, symphony humming, tires screeching, engine screaming, speed demons coming. Gasoline guzzling, straight moving, track bruising, in the premium stock car, never losing. Pit crew wizards, quick as wizards, slick precision. Seconds matter, clock ticking, tight decisions. Drafting close, slingshot ghost, high speed ballet, sipping victory, toasted champ, champagne spray. Fast lane, checkered flags, racing through the turns. Pedal to the metal, feel the rubber burn. Crowd roars, engine soar, high stakes, high gear. Champions breathe and destiny's near. Grid start, hearts pound, seconds before eruption. Adrenaline and steel, the perfect conjunction. Lap after lap, sweat drips, visor fogging. Fame and glory wait for no one's dogging. Tunnel vision, apex hunting, blind to the herd. Opponent's tailgating, pace firing absurd. Finally tuned monster, horsepower excel. Steering wheels grip like the gates to hell. Fast lanes, checkered flags, racing through the turns. Pedal to the metal, feel the rubber burn. Crowd roars, engine soar, high stakes, high gear. Champions breathe and destiny's near.
Thank you.